everyone, this is Joy with Create It with Joy. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so very much for stopping by. Today's project is a project using Simon Hurley's scene making stencil and using his road trip stamp. I started off making a one layer card and you could leave it at that, but then I ended up adding some dimension. So starting off, I am going to stamp two of the images from the road trip stamps, the cute little pig and bird in the airplane, and Miss You sentiment, because he's going to be pulling one of those little signs that you would see these small airplanes flying. I have stamped that on some Nina Classic Crest Solar White cardstock with Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink, because I will be doing Copic Coloring. And now I'm taking a piece of masking paper from Simon Says Stamp and stamping just a light image down. And I'm going to fussy cut this out. Now, if you've never done masking on an image, you need to cut inside the lines. I will get back to that in just one second. I want to explain what I'm doing here. I am just going to cut out what looks like a banner around the Miss You stamp. So I'm just using like a micro black pen and my little ruler and just drawing around so I can actually cut it out and stick that down around the sentiment that's on the piece of cardstock that we will be coloring for our actual card. So once that's drawn out, I will cut these out by hand. What I was saying is cut on the inside of the black line, because when you put your mask down on your image, if you use a die cut to do it, you will have a white halo around, or if you cut directly on the black line or on the outside of the black line, you will end up having a white halo. So definitely cut on the inside of the black line. So it's almost like this mask fits inside of your image when you adhere it down, if that makes sense. So I'm going to stick these down now and you'll see what I mean. You might even see some of the black image that's stamped on my background here. But I'm just kind of putting it and it just kind of fits on the inside so you don't have any white halo. And then here's my little Miss You banner, and I'm going to cover that sentiment up. And just make sure everything's pushed down really, really good. Now I'm going to use the stencil that I'm using is the scene making stencil from Simon Hurley. I'm going to be using the mountains and the clouds. I have this attached down to Wendy Vecchi's Make Art Station. It's a 7x7. If you do not have this thing, you guys absolutely need it. I also have the larger one and they both are fantastic. So I'm adhering that down and I'm taking some Distress Oxide inks in Walnut Stain, Frayed Burlap, and Ground Espresso for the mountains. And I'm going to just add a little bit darker at the bottom, lighter at the top for the mountains, just to give it a little bit of variation. We will come back in later with some markers to add some more detail and life to these mountains, so they're not just so flat and one-dimensional. Coming back in, adding a little bit darker at the bottom, blending it out to where it looks nice and you've got a good blend on it. And then I will clean up my Make Art Station before I start doing my clouds. Now, this is a stencil and a mask, so there is a mask part to those mountains, and I have that adhered down with my magnets on top. And now I'm taking the cloud part of the stencil, and I am starting with Tumbled Glass, then I've got Broken China and Salty Ocean. And I'm starting lighter at the top of the sky and getting darker as I come down toward the mountains. And just adding a ton of clouds so this cute little airplane is flying around. So you could see that mask there, that I'm just holding that down. Cleaning off my stencil so I don't bring extra ink to the page, because you can flip the stencil over so your clouds will be on different sides, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to fill in the sky, tons and tons of clouds. These little critters are just going to have a really good time. Just kind of blending out any spots that looked a little bit harsh. Again, as we're going down, I am going to get the darker ink I just think the stencil idea is a great idea. And it's got stars, it's got a sun, and I can't remember if it has a moon because I can't see it right now. But total cool way to make a scene. And I love that it has the masks as well, because that is key, because I would not be able to be going over these mountains like this without me having to have cut another, you know, stencil or another mask out of paper or something. And so it just makes life really super easy. So the Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station has this magnet ruler. It has those bigger magnets, so everything works out really, really nice. It makes it super easy to use. And like I said, I do have both sizes. I have the bigger size. I do tend to pull out this little one because it's just easier. And I can kind of turn it and move it how I want to. And so I think I tend to use this little one more, but you know, it's a personal decision. So just blending out some areas. And when we get to pull back these masks, it's so pretty. So we're going to take off that sign there. And then we will take off this mask for this airplane, and we'll see how great this background looks. And originally this was just going to be a one-layered card, but I did decide I wanted to add some dimension to it. But you guys will see how that works. So now I'm going to take that same ruler, that same black micro pen, and I'm going to trace around what's supposed to be this banner flying through the sky behind him that says "Miss You." So I'm going to do that, and we will color that in when we color in all the rest of these images. Finish up this last side over here. I thought I was finished with the last side. Sorry, my head's in the way, you guys. Coloring in those, or tracing in those points, making sure they look good and nice and even, which I was really stressed out about doing, because at this point I'm like, if I screw this up, I have to start this whole card over. So I was really glad that I did not. So now I'm going to draw the rope or the whatever it would be to hold that banner behind it. And I actually freehanded that, which was ultra brave of me. I think next time I probably would not do that. Okay, let's get down to the Copic Coloring. So for the reds, I am using R46, 39, 24. For that cute little pink pig, it will be R20 and 22. But for this plane, it's R46, 39, and 24. I put down the light color, which would be the R24, coming in with the darker color, coming in with the medium, then come back in with that light color and blend it out to get a nice shadow on this really fun red airplane. I kind of stuck with the red, blue, and orange because I feel like this could be a card for a dude, totally. And I felt like the red absolutely would pop against the blue sky and the brown mountains. And I was totally right. It turned out really, really great. And then these guys are going to have some blue accents with the scarf and the helmet, and then some parts of the plane are going to have some blue. And then we will throw in a little bit of orange just for the fun of it, because I feel like it totally works. So we're going to color these cute little guys, adding in those dark shadows with the dark blue. The blues that I am using are B39, 24, and 37. And then I will blend those out with the lightest blue, as you can see on the cap there. Adding those little parts and pieces to this whole plane. I really wanted to keep the colors super simple and not have like a ridiculous amount of colors. Although you do end up having a lot more than you plan, which is really kind of funny. But we're coloring in that little cute little pig's little hat with the blue. And then we're going to come in with this orange, which is YR04, 07, and 15. So for his beak and for the banner, that's the colors that we're using. And then for the cute little pig is R20 and R22. We're just going to blend him out, make him look really super cute. And for this bird, I really honestly didn't even know what kind of bird I wanted it to be. I colored it in T1, 3, and 5. Kind of a gray color. I didn't want him to be super dark, so that's why I went with the gray. And I didn't want to do another color, bright color, because I really wanted the plane to stand out. So that was my thinking behind this bird. So T1, 3, and 5 for this cute bird. And don't forget to color inside of his goggles, like I totally did. I had to come back and add a little bit of gray into there because I forgot, oh yeah, it's not going to be white in there. Things you forget to color. Okay, and here are the oranges again, YR04, 07, and 15 for this miss you sign. Once this got colored in, I'm like, okay, it looks good. It turned out good because I was a little bit nervous that it wasn't going to be cute, but it did turn out cute. So I was really, really thankful for that. Something I do want to say to all of you guys too is I've hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. You guys are so very awesome. You are such a blessing to me. Thank you so very much for helping me get there. I just love doing this. I love making cards. I love sharing the videos with you guys. I never thought I would want to teach anything, but I guess in a way I am, and I like that. At the same time, even if it's not teaching you anything and it just you enjoy watching, thank you. I absolutely love it. I love all the new people that I get to talk to and from all different kinds of places, and this is something that we all have in common. And so again, thank you guys so very much. It's a huge blessing to me. So I took a light gray marker, C1 and W3, and kind of went around all the edges to kind of give it a 3D effect, kind of pop off the page. Now, when I was coloring those images, that's when I decided I wanted to add some 3D effects to this. So I am going to make some more mountains, and I'm going to cut out some clouds out of some white cardstock. I am using Avery Elle's Pierced Clouds die, and I'm just going to hand cut out these mountains, which this doesn't bother me because there's not a lot of edges and corners you have to get into. So then I will run these clouds through the die cut machine. Again, I wanted it to feel more like they're flying through the clouds. And so I thought I'll have 3D clouds. And then I thought, well, then I can have 3D mountains. So here I'm taking some brown Copic markers, E37, 29, and 35, and adding some detail to these mountains to kind of look like it's rocky or whatever, to give them a little bit of life so they're not so one-dimensional. Again, adding that gray marker around the edges of the mountains, give them a little bit of that 3D pop off the page. So I did the same thing around the mountains, the sentiment banner, and the airplane, but not all the way around. Just pick like one side to do it on. So I'm going to add some foam tape behind these two mountains that I'm going to add, and then I will trim off the excess off of the bottom. Then we will add these clouds, because again, I want it to feel like they're just flying through the clouds and just having a good old time. This is going to be a birthday card, but kind of like, you know, there's a lot of people we don't get to be with on their birthdays. And so I think this is a good card because it says miss you, and then the sentiment will be a cute sentiment to go along with that. I will trim off the excess off of that cloud. And then I decided one more mountain, one more little tiny mountain over on this side. I'm so happy with how this card turned out. It's a great little stamp set, super cute. And then I decided I wanted some birds. And so this is from Lawn Fawn's Smooth Sailing. And if you guys don't have a stamp set that has these kind of birds, you can draw them with a black pen. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think we drew them all as kids. Whenever we drew birds, this is how we drew them in a picture. So I stamped those around with some black ink because I just felt like it needed something else in the sky. And then I'm going to stamp the sentiment, and that is from, oh, what sentiment did we use this from? Oh, Simon Says stamp, Tiny Words birthday. Sorry, I was trying to read on my paper here and couldn't read it. First, I'm going to add some black glaze pen to the eyes of the critters because that makes them come alive. And when that's dry, I will add some white to that as well. I'm adding some white highlights to the banner and to the airplane. adding some little freckles to their cheeks, a little bit of white dots also to the mountains where I did the other white dots. This kind of thing, this kind of detail brings your whole card to life. If you feel a little bit nervous doing it, just add 1 or 2 little highlights here and there. And after a while, you won't be nervous and you'll love the way it looks. Adding some glossy accents. I added some glossy accents to the guy's mask. I don't know why my footage cut off like that. I apologize. But I added it to his goggles so they looked a little bit shiny. So here is the sentiment that says, wish I could be there on your birthday. A little bit of foam tape behind it and a little bit of tape runner, and adhered that to the mountains there. And that is really a super cute card. What do you guys think? I hope you love it. I totally love this card. This is a great stamp set, a great stencil set. We were able to make this whole scene using that. It's fabulous. Doing some masking. It's not hard. It's super easy. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope that it inspires you to create something absolutely wonderful. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel, thumbs up, share with your crafty friends, definitely comment because I love talking with you guys. I do have some affiliate links below, but it costs you guys nothing to use, so thank you so very much for using those. You are a blessing to me, and I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.